Hey everyone, it's Dr. Troy Schott with Ground Dragon Martial Arts and Modern Martial Arts Health Radio. I am here for our next episode, episode 4. Today I have Professor, BJJ Professor Neto Gomes, and he is my BJJ professor. So we're going to chit chat a little bit, but he is a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt, and we'll get into a little bit of his history and everything, and hope you guys enjoy the episode. Hi, Professor. How are you?
I'm good, Doc.
Good, good,
I
good.
miss I miss a lot our training.
Yeah, I miss it too a lot. I know this is kind of a crazy time. I think everybody's kind of missing it and starting to go a little crazy. You see it all over the Instagram and Facebook and the rest of the internet.
Yeah, sure. But now it's was 3 weeks. We are closed.
Yeah,
There is no training, nothing. Everybody in the quarantine.
yeah.
I hope we can come back soon.
Yeah, I know.
Start training.
Yeah, I know. Here in LA, that they set up the shutdown until May 15th, I think. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be at
May
least
15. I think so.
yeah, it's gonna be another month before we get back at least.
Mm-hmm.
But how are you holding up? How you health wise? You're doing okay? Everybody's good in your home?
No, yeah, we are sick, we are healthy.
Good.
We we cannot go outside. We do not go outside. Just stay at home. And
Yeah.
we follow the quarantine really well.
Yeah. Good.
All the kids healthy. We don't have nothing.
Good. Good.
And that's it. We just wait for everything finish. We can have a normal life again.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I wanted to kind of talk to you about Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Um, you know, I don't know if we've really talked. We've talked a little bit about kind of my past history that I've shared with you before that I've done some Chinese martial arts and different types of martial arts as well as you know Tai Chi because we went over that one movement that was very similar to a Tai Chi movement and but I wanted to talk to you about a bit more about Brazilian Jiu Jitsu because a lot of people in the martial art world outside of BJJ really don't have a very good understanding of the philosophy and the principles and the practices of BJJ. They all just think it's ground fighting and that stuff is good in a sport, but it's not really going to be very practical, in a self defense setting. But why don't you tell me a little bit about your history? As far as I understand, you grew up in Brazil, and that's where you started BJJ, right?
Yeah. I will start. I'm not start too young, but I
Mm.
start training wrestling first. I went to wrestling.
Okay.
After that, when I start to compete a lot of no-gi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they have a lot of tournaments over there all the time.
Right.
So I compete a lot of wrestling tournaments,
Yeah.
and then I come to train and compete no-gi as well.
Nice.
And then I come to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I start to use the gi, a new challenger, but was very, very good. I think was the best choice for me
Yeah.
because it's totally different. When you don't have gi, the position change a lot.
Right.
When you wear gi, you start to learn how you can control really well your opponent. A lot of techniques totally different, so you can put more your game. And then when you take off the gi, you can train you really well. You
Right.
understand?
Right. Right. Yeah.
No gi as well.
Right.
My master, he got his black belt with Neto Grace,
Mm-hmm.
the main guy from Jiu-Jitsu. He created Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
Neto Grace and Carlos Grace.
Yeah.
And I'm good guy. I'm good guy because my master was really good.
Right.
Now he's a red belt, 9 degree.
Right. Wow.
He's a director of the IBJJF,
Hmm.
the important association.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
He's he was training a lot of tough people. I had a chance to train with these people. Like Minotauro Nogueira,
Hmm.
Vitor Belfort,
Right.
the guys like I saw in the TV. I say, man, I want to be like this guy. I want to train like this guy.
Right.
Then when I start training with my master, I have a chance to train with those guys. I have a chance to learn with those guys.
Right.
It was really good.
Yeah.
So, and then I start training really hard. I did MMA as well in Brazil. I did it in Ohio. It's good.
Yeah.
And then I never stop anymore.
Yeah.
Never stop.
Yeah. Yeah. There seems to be this kind of every person I met who really diligently trains, BJJ, they almost kind of fall in love with the art. It's it becomes like they develop a relationship with it, and I think it's kind of interesting that when you see the people who are really passionate about it, it's almost like it becomes a part of them in a sense.
Yeah. We will create a nice relationship because you are almost every day they met, we train together.
Hmm.
We create a nice relationship with all the students
Yeah.
because Jiu-Jitsu is not only mixed martial art, you understand?
Yeah.
A lot of people when come training, they don't do nothing. They don't have self confidence
Hmm.
or coordination. A lot of people don't do nothing. They never do the exercise. They never do some sport.
Right.
But after 1 year, 1 year and a half, he changed. He changed his life. You understand? A lot of people come training look for the training just for lose weight, for have some little get more self confidence like that.
Right.
But and when he's still training, he keeps training. His life changed. He'll be another person, a new person. Understand?
Right. Right.
Jiu-Jitsu give that. Jiu-Jitsu give you a lot of self confidence when you start training. 1 year after Jiu-Jitsu training, man, you're gonna be another guy, another person.
Right. Right.
Jiu-Jitsu is amazing. Jiu-Jitsu, he started training Jiu-Jitsu because he was very, very skinny, very weak,
Yeah.
and he adapted it for his body, you understand? So Jiu-Jitsu doesn't matter if you are strong or not. If you don't know Jiu-Jitsu, one little guy can beat you up.
Right.
Because, man, it's a technique, only technique. Of course, if you train a lot, and then you can be professional, do the specific training, you get a power, of course, you're going to be, man. And then you start to compete like a champion.
Right.
But if you just want to do for self-defense, like a normal people do, you work every day and then come to train just for learn how to defend yourself, boy, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. What is your philosophy in terms of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and self defense? Because a lot of people really see Brazilian Jiu Jitsu nowadays as like a sport, not so much as like a martial art that will develop a self defense capability, and it almost in my opinion, I mean, I've done martial arts for 26 years now this year. And I've met BJJ guys who have done doing BJJ for, 3 months, 6 months. And most of them can probably wipe the floor with some of these people who've been training, 10, 15, 20 years in other things that are not BJJ. So, but what is your thought process on the self defense capabilities as opposed to more of the sport aspect of it?
Oh, I come from old school, doctor.
Yeah.
The jiu-jitsu that I learned, we show a lot of self-defense. Jiu-jitsu and self-defense work together.
Right.
So many positions, many everything, in my school in Brazil, that's my master teach me, we start to learn some self-defense technique and then jiu-jitsu. Every day, we show some technique, some from self-defense. You understand?
Yeah.
Of course. And then I did a lot of seminars with the Family Grace. The Family Grace is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They put a lot of self-defense in jiu-jitsu. So because, jiu-jitsu, we have three different situations for jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu for competition, for tournament. Jiu-jitsu just for the people who want to train, want to do some exercise. Jiu-jitsu for MMA, change everything. And jiu-jitsu for self-defense.
Yeah.
If you want to come, I want to learn more for how can I defend myself, you're going to show.
Yeah.
Like I show in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Every day, want to learn some technique from self-defense, technical stand, front row. This is to make part of the self-defense. You understand?
Right.
All these drills that I show works like a self-defense.
Right.
Of course, when you be a bit more professional, I wanna train jiu-jitsu for MMA. You're gonna change a lot. It's another jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Change a lot of position change because you have a punch. The people can punch your face. So change everything. Jiu-jitsu is complete. In my opinion, it's the best mixed martial arts.
Right. Right. So when it comes more to a competitive aspect of it, what is really the focus with competition? Or are you getting your guys more conditioned, more focused on kind of the the very the techniques that are going to work the most often, like a high percentage techniques? What is your focus in that regard?
Yeah, I compete a lot my whole life.
Yeah.
My whole life I like to compete.
Yeah.
Until now, last year I was competing. I think my last tournament was in November.
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
But because I want to try myself.
Right.
I want to go there. I want to put myself in just for having fun.
Right.
And then another thing, when you start to compete, you start learning a lot. Because then, if you one simple mistake, you lost the fight. And then you say, man, I never more want to do this mistake.
Yeah.
And then you learn. Always learn.
Right.
Understand?
Right.
I don't think like, I'm not going to the tournament, and if I lost, I say, I'm being upset. No. I'm going to train more, and then it becomes more strong. Of course, if you want to train, you have to change your if you want to compete, you have to train, to change your training. You have to train more. You understand? You have to do more exercise. You have to be on good cardio.
Right.
If you don't have cardio, man, 2 minutes you are done, and then you cannot do nothing.
Right.
So you have to work more.
Right.
It's not easy, you understand?
Yeah.
But I like to compete all the time.
Yeah.
When I have a chance, always I'm going there, put myself in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find competition to be transferable to self-defense as well? Like, do you find that you're what you're able to use in a competition, you'd be able to use in a self-defense scenario?
Yeah, no, of course. In the tournament, on the training, during the sparring, always have a lot of position if you know the self-defense.
Right.
Have a lot of position, you can escape with self-defense.
Right.
Headlock, kick, bear hug. All this position you can use in jiu-jitsu, you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not from the street.
Right.
Many times you can use the self-defense technique in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Always.
Yeah. It makes a lot of it makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's this kind of thought process that just because it's done in a competition that you're just not going to remember it in a self-defense situation, or because there are rules and all this stuff. But it seems a little silly to me. But from my understanding, that it definitely has a very transferable aspect, and you know, it almost, yeah, it just kind of, it seems like it would work best that way. What I wanted to ask you about, what is kind of when we talk about jujitsu, you know, when we talk about the term jujitsu, which is the Japanese for soft technique or kind of like the gentle art, right? What what does that mean for you in terms of jujitsu? Because obviously jujitsu is not just always soft. You know, it's we all know that it can be pretty rough and injuries do tend to happen. But what does that mean to you when it's referred to as the gentle art?
In Brazil, they have a name, they call the jiu-jitsu arte suave. Because you don't, if you do a lot of power, something wrong. Because all the techniques don't need power. You're going to use the balance,
Mm-hmm.
you understand, your weight.
Right.
You know, most of the time you don't need power for do the technique.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they call the arte suave. Because you doesn't matter if you are strong or not.
Right.
You need to know how can do the technique well. The technique is so soft, so light, so very easy, you understand? So when you start learning really well,
Yeah.
that's the another thing. If you're training hard, you make a lot of power, you'll be tired very soon,
Right.
very fast.
Right.
When you start to use the technique, you can roll 1 hour
Mm-hmm.
because you don't use your power. You use just the technique, you understand?
Right.
How can move your body well, how can roll, how can do everything.
Right.
For escape the position, you use the technique, you don't use the power.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can train more than 1 hour.
Yeah.
When you start to make a lot of power, something's wrong
Mm-hmm.
in the position. That's
Yeah.
they call the art suave, soft
Right.
martial art.
Right. And what do you find is the difference between the groundwork in BJJ and the groundwork in judo?
Yeah? Sorry?
So like the what we do in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, what is the difference between that and what they do in judo? Because it's
Judo, they don't have the judo. They do a lot of takedowns,
mm-hmm.
but they call the name handori. Handori when he starts doing the solo on the ground.
Okay.
But they don't have a lot of techniques. You understand?
Right.
Because they have time. They cannot take too long on the
Right.
ground.
Right.
And then
Okay.
they stop the fight. That's why they don't train a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of position.
Right.
But we have a lot of judo people. They use a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Right.
In Brazil, we have the Olympic champion, Flávio Canto. He comes from jiu-jitsu, but he trained a lot of. He comes from judo, but he trained a lot of jiu-jitsu as well.
Right.
The Olympics, he got gold only with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He pull guard and submit the opponent
Right.
in judo.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But that's the point. Judo, they use a lot of throw a lot of takedowns,
Right.
but they don't keep fights on the ground. They
Right.
have a time.
Right.
They have to stop.
Right. Well, and
That's the point.
yeah. Right. And it for my
Judo is really good because all the fights you start standing. So
Right.
if you know how can do the takedown really well, personally it's going to help a lot during the
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And I know for us that we, with Hollywood Jiu Jitsu, and I'm sure you do this at the Aguora Hills school as well, is that we do actually do a fair amount of standing takedowns and stuff like that, and throws and things like that. So do you find that to be kind of a benefit for us when we do go to competition, things like that, as opposed to schools that maybe don't focus on so much of that and kind of more do like a just focus on a single leg and a pulling guard and stuff like that?
No, I think everything going to help. If you train judo, for sure, your jiu is going to be really good. You're going to grow more your jiu-jitsu skills. If you train wrestling, for sure, it's going to help.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the people who train wrestling, they train jiu-jitsu to help you as well.
Right.
Judo, if you train jiu-jitsu, of course. If you know jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo, you'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine you can put down everyone, have a nice ground, or nice techniques on the ground. Boy, it will be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't train a lot of judo, but I train a little bit. I was training a little bit.
Yeah.
When I was in Brazil with
Yeah.
my master, because my master is a judo coach.
Right.
I train a little bit. But
Okay.
I train much more wrestling. Wrestling gives me a background really good for jiu-jitsu.
Right. Right. What would you say comparison wise? What is the difference between wrestling and judo?
A lot of techniques.
Hmm.
Judo, they use more hip throws.
Right.
So you cannot attack the legs.
Right.
Understand?
Right.
It's totally different. They wear a gi.
Yeah.
In the wrestling, no. The wrestling is just rush guys. Something like that.
Right.
Likely.
Right. So the wrestlers are able to use, blocking the legs and, trapping the legs and things like that as well.
Another style, you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you train both, for sure it's gonna help because you can use the judo throws in wrestling as well.
Right.
If you have a good time, you understand?
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's good.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And you do you still coach wrestling? I know you were coaching wrestling for a little while, right? Do you still coach it?
But no. Now I'm just teach. Of course, I have some students. They do the MMA.
Mm-hmm.
I teach a little bit wrestling, jiu-jitsu.
Right.
I teach everything, but right now I teach much more than just jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
I just have a couple of students from MMA. I'm still training.
Yeah.
This guy, but it's not too much on himself.
Right. Right. Do you coach professional fighters at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
I have some students. They compete in the professional fights, MMA fights.
Right. Yeah, I think you actually recently posted something online that there was one of your.
So what happened? I just teach these guys a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Right.
He have the coach, boxing coach, on the side.
Right.
And I train. My job is just training jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Teach jiu-jitsu for them.
Okay.
How can escape? How can submit? How can working on the ground and pound? Something like that.
Right.
But they train Muay Thai, they train boxing, they train wrestling as well.
Right. Of course. Yeah. My I wanted to go back. You mentioned that you obviously you came up with wrestling and then you moved into more of No-Gi Jiu-Jitsu and then into regular Jiu-Jitsu. What is your preference? Do you have a preference between Gi and No-Gi? Do you prefer one over the other?
But right now, I like to compete more with Gi.
Okay.
Because long time ago, I used to compete a lot of No-Gi, but
yeah.
And then I start to compete Gi. I think now I like more. I like to compete more with Gi than No-Gi.
Okay.
I'm still comfortable with Gi.
Yeah.
I have a lot of more options for submit my opponents. I think it's gonna be much easier for me.
Okay. And do you find that the biggest difference between Gi and No-Gi is that you have more options to submit, or what else would be the big difference between the two of them?
Yeah, I think because what happened, No-Gi, we don't have a lot of options for submission. We have normal techniques like side control, back control, something like that. But with Gi, we have a lot of chokes.
Yeah.
You can use the lapel, you understand? You can you have many options. Totally different.
Right.
When you have Gi. That's why I prefer.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
My one thought, and I've seen this before, not so much lately, but I have seen it before, is that a lot of people say that, the Gi, whether it's judo or jiu-jitsu, is not really transferable to a self-defense street situation. Would you say that's true? Because I think that you could probably use a Gi, especially if someone's got a big heavy coat on or something like that. But what would you say on that?
Depends. I think you can can do it. We can learn a lot of self-defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Both any mixed martial art, they can learn.
Yeah. Yeah. I had this one person who showed me many years ago that you could use the grips they use on gi by grabbing people's like skin and muscle and stuff like that. It's pretty nasty looking stuff.
A lot of things change. You understand?
Yeah.
The grips, the everything.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but you still can do it. You can use a lot of techniques like that.
Right.
You have to change.
Right. That sounds good. So, well, what is your? I'm sorry.
Jiu-Jitsu is amazing.
Yeah, it is. I honestly, I miss going so much. I'm trying to do things here at home and just kind of practicing shrimps and and do some basic exercises. But there really is something to going to class, going to to being with your fellow practitioners and your jujutero, if I'm saying that right. And I think once people kind of get into jiu-jitsu and really start to kind of get past the ego of getting tapped out pretty regularly, it's very easy to kind of really fall in love with that feeling of training on the mat with your partners on a daily basis. What is your approach to conditioning people? How do you like to get people in shape for jiu-jitsu? Do you prefer to do it just with jiu-jitsu exercises, or do you like to add other stuff to it?
So, doctor, jiu-jitsu is different.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you run every day 1 hour, but if you come train jiu-jitsu, 5 minutes done.
Yeah.
You are tired.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to use how I'm gonna put my student shape for training jiu-jitsu.
Right.
I pass a lot of drills. You understand? The movements that you use in the fight during the training, you're gonna do the exercise.
Right.
That's the like the warm up, but I use a lot of drills.
Right.
That's the good way for. Always I did that.
Yeah.
For have a good cardio, I can fight for a long time. I can
Right.
keep fight for a long time. Drills. But all the drills was for you can use during the fight. You understand?
Yeah.
You don't want to jumping jacks or something like that.
Right.
Another exercise. No, the exercise was for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu exercise.
Yeah.
Of course, you can do the jiu-jitsu exercise drills. If you run, it's good. If you go to the gym, lift your weight, everything gonna help. You understand?
Yeah. But definitely
I like to pass a lot of drills for the students.
Right.
Jiu-jitsu drills.
Right. Yeah, so the focus on drilling over and over certain movements and patterns and stuff like that, whether by yourself or with a partner, is a better way to get into, shape for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And then when you start with a lot of exercise, a lot of drills, during the fight, you do the position very fast. You understand?
Yeah.
You can do automatically because you do a lot of repetition. Many times. That's the drill.
Right.
And do it fast.
Right.
During the fight, you can do that. And
Yeah.
you're going to do automatically.
Right.
Boom.
Kind of like a muscle memory. Now, with jiu-jitsu, how often would you say that people should train jiu-jitsu? I mean, do you recommend every day? Do you recommend going to class a few days and maybe doing some of the drills at home? What would you say is best?
Depends. If you want to start, if you are beginners,
Yeah.
I think 2-3 times per week will be amazing.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Of course. But this is going to be natural because you start like a beginner's class.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come to 2 times per week, 3 times per week.
Yeah.
When you start learning,
Yeah.
if you want to learn, of course, you have to train more. How are you going to learn? If you train more.
Right.
When more you train, more you're going to learn, more fast you're going to learn.
Right.
So if you want to compete, and then you have to train much more than the people just train for
Right.
self-defense, you understand?
Right.
But I think if you are a beginner, 2 times per week or 3 times, it will be amazing for a start.
Right. Do you find that people kind of do better once they start getting into, maybe 4, 5, 6 days a week of training? Like, is there ever a period of where it's almost like they're diminishing returns? I don't know if that makes sense, that they're doing it too much, so they're not developing at a they're not developing very well, if that makes sense.
No, of course. If you can see the difference when the guy just come train 2 times per week.
Yeah.
Even in Hollywood.
Yeah.
When the guy train every day.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the guy who's training every day gonna learn much more.
Right.
He growing fast. His skills, you understand?
Yeah.
That's the natural things.
Yeah.
When more you train, more you learn much faster.
Right.
There's no secret.
Yeah.
Just come and train.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you don't show up, you're not there to do it.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
more you come for training, but for much more, you're gonna learn much more.
Mm-hmm.
There's no another way.
Yeah. 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 Definitely.
Yeah.
So, in these interesting quarantine times, what I know that you did hold an online class not too long ago. I think last Saturday. But are you planning to do more of that stuff for now?
Yeah.
Or
We did the class last Friday.
okay.
Yesterday we did as well.
Okay.
But it was like a study class. We put some. Yesterday we did it. We chose one good fight
Mm-hmm.
between Leandro Lô and Kainan Duarte.
Right.
And we studied. But next Friday, I'm gonna show some position line as well, because now you're gonna do. I'm trying to keep the students on focus on the jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Keep learning, understand?
Right.
And next Friday I'm gonna teach some position as well.
Okay. Okay.
Online.
Well, once this thing kind of calms down and we're actually able to get back into training, could you tell everybody where they could, possibly start training with you? I know you're teaching in at least 2 places, right?
Yeah, I'm teaching in Aguora. I'm teaching Hollywood.
Yeah.
I hope we're gonna come back soon again. I wanna start training again. I wanna start teaching again in Hollywood very soon.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanna train, we have classes Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Who wanna train? If you wanna learn some skills, just come, show up.
Yeah.
When we finish the quarantine, for sure it'll be amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, when are you gonna put out your DVDs? We're gonna get you an online instructional program.
Yeah, we need to think about it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start now. I'm going to start teaching some position online as well.
Yeah.
And then we can make some DVD.
Yeah. I actually think
I did it on DVD already, but
yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. Because you have such a varied history, especially with wrestling and, wrestling in both gi and no-gi jiu-jitsu, that I think that is something that is definitely good for the jiu-jitsu community to see, because you're able to look at it from a different perspective as opposed to just straight jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to kind of discuss or talk about before we wrap it up here?
Yeah. No, I just want to say for the people, I hope everybody was safe, stay in quarantine,
Right.
Take care about yourself. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because I know you're gonna very soon you're gonna come back again, our normal life again.
Yeah.
We just need to wait a little bit. We're gonna
Yeah.
keep safe, keep health.
Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely.
And see you soon in the next. I hope you can come back soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to get back in. I gotta dust off my gis now. They've been sitting in the closet too long.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk a little bit. It was amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you, Doctor.
Oh,
Thank you so
you're
much.
welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you soon, Professor.
Yeah, see you soon, Doctor. Any problem? Next class, I want to see you online. Come. I'm
Okay.
gonna send the link for you to learn.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I remember seeing it. I didn't see it for yesterday, but I saw it for the last week, and just wasn't able to get on. But definitely for next Friday, I wanna pop on there.
Okay, I'm gonna send the links for you next Friday.
Okay, great. Sounds
Thank
good.
you so much.
Thank you, Professor. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Have a great day.
Yeah. Bye. Hey everyone! Thanks for tuning in with that interview with Professor Neto Gomes, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. You know, in these times with quarantine and coronavirus, I want you guys to really focus on staying healthy, staying strong. Make sure you're not just sitting there all day on a computer. You're getting up, you're moving around, you're really focused on getting some regular exercise in, because it's going to be super important, especially as we get back to normal life. If you get back into training, you know, regular exercise, you're going to the gym, you know, doing jiu-jitsu, kung fu, whatever it is, your ability to adapt to it will depend on your fitness level. So if you keep up some sort of practice at home as much as you can, that's going to be a much benefit to you as you get back into your normal life once everything kind of gets there. Stay healthy, drink lots of water, drink some tea, make sure you're getting your vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, all that stuff in there. And you know, this is a good time to you know, get into more of a personal practice with meditation and yoga as well. Do some writing, some journaling, stuff like that. Really focus on your mind and your body and getting yourself and keeping yourself healthy. Stay safe and healthy out there, everybody, and I will talk to you soon.